With Xbox and PlayStation coming out with amazing reboots of vibrant video games like the stunning release of God of War Ragnarok, hitting 10 out of 10 on reviews, and new games coming out month after month, I thought this would be an appropriate time to put a list together of the most anticipated games. Hi folks, I'm Dark Jask, and this is the top 10 most anticipated AAA games coming out in the near future. Starting off our list with number 10 is Perfect Dark. Microsoft founded a new studio called The Initiative back in 2018 that was announced on the E3 stage by Phil Spencer. This seemingly new studio is led by Daryl Gallagher, who previously worked as the studio head at Crystal Dynamics, who is now partnered with The Initiative. They are known for Legacy of Reign and Tomb Raider. Perfect Dark debuted in the year 2000 on the Nintendo 64. They followed that up with a sequel called Perfect Dark Zero on the Xbox 360 back in 2005. The series follows Joanna Dark around as she uncovers conspiracies by the rival corporation Datadyne. Not much is known about the new reboot Perfect Dark, but according to Wikipedia, the premises will take place in the near future world that has been torn apart by ecological disasters. Knowing that's all we know about the game, I'm pretty excited to see what the studio builds, because this is one of the games that got me hooked into gaming in the first place. The engine said to be used on Perfect Dark is the Unreal Engine 4, but now the Unreal Engine 5 has been released, we may see them port that over to the newer engine. But until there is more information about the game and the new studio, we can only go on what we see from the outside, which unfortunately does not look too good. With Daniel Neuberger, game director, leaving along with other substantial developers, we have to hope that Microsoft takes its time so this studio can do this IP justice like its previous entries. This game will be released on Windows and Xbox consoles.
Did you find the answers you were looking for, Agent Dark?
Not yet. This is just the beginning.
And on to number 9, and we are talking about the game that everyone has heard of, and that is Starfield. Director Todd Howard and the Bethesda Game Studios need a win after the launch of Fallout 76. Starfield is an upcoming RPG set in an area that extends outwards from the solar system for approximately 50 light years in an area called the Settler System. Around the year 2310, the two largest factions in the game, the United Colonists and the Freestar Collective, engage in a conflict called the Colonial Wars. The game takes place 20 years after the war, with the major facts enjoying an uneasy peace. The player assumes the role of a customizable character who is a member of the Constellation and Organization of Space Explorers. The game can be played in either first-person or third-person perspective. After viewing the trailer, the game does have promise, but the most negative perspective I have heard from the community is the graphics do not seem all that great and the gunplay is poor quality. As I am a fan of all things space, I cannot wait to fly among the stars and explore new worlds. This game comes out on Windows and Xbox consoles around Q1, Q2 of 2023.
has it something's off at the church. There's blood in the baptismal font, and pastor's gone missing. And my genius plan was to investigate it. Alone.
Also being built on Bethesda Studios is another game called Redfall. Back in 2021, Redfall was announced on the Xbox and Bethesda E3 event. This game is being developed by Arcane Studios using the Unreal Engine 5. Redfall is an open-world first-person shooter that has both single-player and multiplayer modes. Players will be able to choose between 4 unique characters that have their own background and abilities. According to the wiki, this game is set within the fictional titular island of Redfall, Massachusetts. After a failed scientific experiment, a legion of vampires invaded and isolated the town from the outside world. Trapped inside Redfall, players must choose among the 4 unique survivors. Supernatural sharpshooter Jacob Boyer.
Feelings mutual, I guess.
Aw, thanks, Jacob. We've also got Remy, our engineer genius, and her little robot buddy.
Combat engineer Rima De La Rosa.
And our resident expert on all things creepy.
Cryptozoologist and inventor Davender Cruisley.
Last but not least, yours truly. I have these weird powers.
Telekinetic student Layla Elson. They will be tasked to slay their enemies, vampires and humans alike. We are really excited about this game because the visual and vampire fighting is a unique gameplay mechanic that we do not see enough of. This will be released in 2023 on Windows and Xbox consoles.
Shit.
It'll collapse any second.
Run!
All of the grannies wanna sip they tea. And you come on portion in. All ugly like a brown fur cardigan. We can skip that monologue and arguing. I'm like,
And she said, "With our swords, we will forge new stories to strike the gods that haunt us." You might see me as weak, but I will show you what lies behind my eyes.
At number 7, we have Hellblade: Senua's Saga, which is the successor of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. In 2017, this action-adventure game, developed and published by Ninja Theory, came to Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One and took everyone by storm. This independent AAA game has blends of different gameplay, mechanics, and concepts like puzzle solving, psychological horror, and melee combat. Hellblade 1's narrative serves as a metaphor for the character's struggle with psychosis, as Senua, who suffers from the condition but believes it's to be a curse, is haunted by the entity known as the Darkness, voices in her head known as Furies, and memories from her past. Now that Microsoft has acquired Ninja Theory, Hellblade 2 will likely be an exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem and have all the money and help they need to make one hell of a sequel. It is said that the game will have you take control over the Celtic warrior Senua and guide her through an emotional, horroring quest that's both immersive and ambitious. We can't wait to see this game because if it's anything like Hellblade 1, then we're in for a treat, and maybe a contender for Game of the Year. This game will come out on Windows and Xbox consoles.
Help me!
He's seen you. She's What's your name? I know you. He needs you.
At number 6, we have the Callisto Protocol, which is an upcoming survival horror video game developed by Striking Distance Studios and published by Krafton. It is directed by Glenn Schofield, who previously co-created the Dead Space series, so fans are calling this a Dead Space remake or the Dead Space 4, due to the very similar enemies, environments, and the bodysuits the main character wears in the trailers. As a big fan of the series, we are extremely excited to see what this game has to offer. The Callisto Protocol is set in 2320 as a prisoner colony called the Black Iron, operated by the United Jupiter Company and located on Jupiter's moon Callisto. You take control over the prisoner Jacob Lee, who is being held at the Black Iron, finding themselves in the midst of an alien invasion that appears to have been engineered by the prisoner's warden. This game will be available on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Xbox consoles, being shipped worldwide on December 2nd, 2022.
They're evolving.
These aren't accidents. There's a pattern.
Isn't about escape, Jacob. Not anymore.
What's it about?
Answers.
Another developer that came under fire by their community due to their lack of listening to what the fans wanted is none other than Blizzard Entertainment. Sending out a mobile game had fans of the franchise turn their backs on Blizzard. But as far as mobile games go, it was a very nice experience as long as you disregard the constant barrage of microtransactions being thrown in your face every 15 minutes. All jokes aside, to get back in the community's good graces, we now talk about our number 5 spot that was shown at the 2019 BlizzCon, where Blizzard announced Diablo 4 that will be launching on all consoles and PC. According to Wiki, Diablo 4 takes place following the aftermath of Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Cultists have summoned the main antagonist and daughter of Mephisto, Lilith. After the events of the previous game, the forces of demons and angels have been depleted, allowing the opening for her to establish power in Sanctuary. This game is set to release in 2023, and we will have to cross our fingers that it will not be packed with microtransactions like the mobile game was.
Lilith. Blessed Mother, save us.
At the number 4 spot, we have BioShock Isolation, and not much is known about this game. Announced in 2019, Cloud Chambers is a brand new studio with talent from Ubisoft, Crystal Dynamics, EA, and more, who have worked on games including Rainbow Six Siege, Marvel Avengers, Assassin's Creed 3, and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Leakers have claimed to show an image from the internal preservation, which revealed that the game's premise is built on a city divided between free and wealthy society and a poor lower class. A border separates the isolated poor lower class underground citizens who are led by a director waging war on the wealthy leader of the upper class city above them. Also, the game leaker refers to the game as Parkside, and it is set in the fictional Antarctic city in the 1960s. But when it comes to leakers, take all this with a grain of salt until we have something announced by the developers. This game will be launched on all consoles and PC.
Join us. Take the plunge for yourself.
selling humans as drugs. You're the only one that can stop them. You realize we're gonna have to take out the entire alien drug cartel.
These next 3 games, I just can't hold my excitement for. So we'll start off with our top 3, with number 3, High on Life. This sci-fi first-person shooter game takes place in the future as humanity has been taken by an alien cartel to be used as drugs. Playing as a bounty hunter, the player must navigate through the galaxy and save the humans by using weapons called Galantians, used to take out the threats. Oh yeah, and the guns talk to you and seem to be the comedic relief in the game. This game will be released on Windows and Xbox platforms and is said to be out worldwide on December 12th, 2022.
Hey there, I'm Knifey. Stab, stab, yes, more, I need more stabbing.
Everyone, fight each other!
And at the number 2 spot, we have Fable Reboot. If PlayStation has shown Xbox anything, we can say that they showed them that they can take an older IP and bring it back to life in a completely different way that people will appreciate and enjoy. PlayStation did this with their IP God of War, and Xbox is trying to do this with Fable. Not much is known about Fable due to Microsoft having an extremely tight lid on the project, but with them releasing a trailer at the 2019 E3, we do have some speculations and leaks that I found on the internet. Now again, take all this with a grain of salt. Basing some of this off the trailer and past games, I think it is safe to say that the game will be an open world RPG. Previous Fables were made by Lionhead Studios, headed by Peter Molyneux, but was closed by Microsoft in 2016 before they could release Fable Legends. With the reboot of Fable, the IP will be handed off to Playground Games, who have made the open world racing game Forza Horizon. Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios, says that Playground Games is attempting to make a modern take on Fable. The massive leak that came out of Reddit stated that Albion, the land of Fable, has been completely destroyed by an asteroid called down by the Mad King who took control of the Spire. The impact results in the land reduced to Fable, so Fable will be taking place on a or multiple different continents. The leak goes on to say that there will be other planets to visit as well, via Demon Doors. I know we are all very excited about this game and want more information and to be able to see gameplay, but it looks like we might have to wait another year or two before anything is released to see if the leaks are true or false. So you can expect to see this game released on Windows and Xbox consoles.
Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written.
And finally, at our number 1 spot, a game that needs no introduction, has already broken records, has scored 10 out of 10, and is in the running for Game of the Year, and that game is God of War Ragnarok. Now we know this game has already been released, but it was this year's most anticipated game. I am currently playing this game on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and other than having some pop-in enemies and some audio bugs, this is one of my favorite and vibrant games I have played all year long. Originally slated for 2021, this action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studios and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment released worldwide on November 9th, 2022. Like the 2018 installment, Ragnarok is set in the world of Norse mythology, but expands upon the previous game's narrative, with an even greater focus on exploration and open-world gameplay. While this previous game allows the player to access 6 of the 9 realms of Norse mythology, Ragnarok expands focus, sees the player explore each of the 9 realms, including the new addition of Svartalfheim, the industrial abode of the dwarves, Vanaheim, the lush home of the Vanir gods, and Asgard, the golden isle of the Azure gods. Midgard, the primary realm of the 2018 installment, is heavily featured but is now a Phrygian wasteland, dramatically changed by the Fimbulwinter, a 3-year-long winter that began upon the conclusion of the previous game. The Lake of Nine, previously navigable by means of a boat in the previous game, is now frozen over. Svartalfheim is explorable in the same degree as Midgard was in the previous game. Alfheim, Helheim, and Niflheim all return with an expanded focus on the character's exploration. With this being a continuum of the previous game, this is a must-play. Of course, if you have no inkling on playing this game, you can always come by my stream and watch me play right here on YouTube and on Twitch. That concludes our top 10 list. Let us know in the comments below which game you are most excited about. Don't forget to join our Discord and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitch. And until next time, I hope you have a great day, week, month, and year. Don't forget to make somebody smile, and I love you all. Okay, bye! Oh, shit! Falcon.
Yes.
Is it her?
It is her. The state is not far. Get ready.
Ooh, shit! She is pissed. Oh, shit. She is pissed.
She wouldn't give up that easy, would she?
She never does. Stay alert.
Okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. Oh, God.
Got you. You gotta get away from her.
I'm trying.
Up there. What's she? Look out.
Oh, my God.
Trees, they're coming down.
Oh, shit.
That was too close. Coming around again.
I do not fight you.
I'm losing my grip here. Father!
I have you. Hold tight. The protection stave is near.
Oh, she is pissed.
Oh, no! Freya, we're not your enemy!
Freya, what?
Please don't make me do this!
Dank_Ritza said my man Jask is already deeply immersed in the game, rolling on the floor laughing.
you damn right.
I am telling bro, this fucking game never fails to amaze. Weary face folded hence light skin tone red heart.
Get on, pups!
We're through for Stave. We made it.
Let us go home.
Specky, Svana, up.
Specky, Anna.
I'm sorry I couldn't take the shot.
Oh my
I did
God.
not wish you to.
Dank_Ritza said I fucking love
saved
this
her life.
franchise so goddamn much.
I do too.
There is no letting